You're going to love this. Trust me, what you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan. And this is what is known as a Super Saiyan that has ascended past a Super Saiyan. Or, you could just call this a Super Saiyan 2. And this...
What's he doing?
...is to go even further beyond!
No, stop it, Goku! If you do this now, it's going to drain away all the time you have left on Earth! And I'd say you need every second of it as it is!
Hello there, I am Team 3 Stars, also previously known as Soldier TCG. This is my personal channel. I've had this personal channel on YouTube for a long time, and I haven't really used it besides shit posting. If you look through my history, for future reference, if I go more into YouTubing and just making videos I want to make, I'm may make another channel or I may stay here. Just know if you see this re-uploaded somewhere with a different name, it's probably me, hopefully. I don't know who would want to steal my content, but anyways, so this is the introduction. I felt like I should get that out of the way. Before I start this video, I'd like to clarify that I am not a pro fighting game player. I watch plenty of pro fighters. I watch Evo every year. I watch Twitch streams. I'm into a lot of different fighting games. Yeah, so everything I say, you can choose to believe it, throw it out the door, whatever. This is just one person ranting on a game that they so dearly care about. And so first, I want to get started with my history. My history with fighting games. So fighting games takes me back to relatively, I wasn't huge into fighting games. I'd seen, I think it was Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat at arcades I went to and stuff. Wasn't really into them. I had a friend who was super into Mortal Kombat. He got me to play a few games with him. I played Scorpion. It was pretty fun. I was shit. He beat me. He beat my ass with Sub-Zero. But yeah, it was pretty fun. The first fighting game that I hugely got into was I discovered a cabinet of Marvel vs. Capcom, and that blew my mind. I was like, there's a Marvel fighting game, and that's where my love just blossomed of fighting games. I played almost every franchise, whether I'm good at it or bad. I've played Mortal Kombat games, Injustice games, Marvel vs. Capcom series, Tekken a bit, Street Fighter, Third Strike, Killer Instinct, and then obviously the topic of this video, Dragon Ball fighting games. And my experience with Dragon Ball games is I played a few of like the DS games, the one where it's like an RPG, sort of, you level up and you do, you know, turn-based battling. I think it was called Attack of the Saiyans. I did that. I never had the 2D fighter one. All my friends had it. I could never get a copy at GameStop when I was a kid. But yeah, I played Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the Wii all the time. I played both Shin Budokais on PSP, and I own Xenoverse 2 and Dragon Ball Fighterz, the latter of the two. which is what the video is on. So I just wanted to, and I've been a huge fan of Dragon Ball, the series. I watched it when I was a kid. I watched Dragon Ball Z with my dad back when it was on Toonami. And yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball. But this is why I wanted to comment on the state of the games. First, we're going to jump into something I believe that could be fixed, is story. Now, the story in Fighters isn't bad. Dragon Ball has had a history of bad original stories in video games. They're not fun, and most of the good stories are retellings of stuff we already know. Xenoverse 2 does this awfully well. It's something interesting, but also you're fighting a lot in, you know, the history you already know. Fighter's story is not a bad story. It could be a lot better. Android 21, I feel, is just written poorly, and there are various different issues. My biggest problem, though, is the story is a grind fest. You just hop around and beat up a bunch of dudes. And I understand why this was built in. It's so you can earn Zenny and level up your characters, so you can go into more levels and stuff. But I honestly would have preferred a more solid story that's being carried out in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X or 10. And especially in Injustice 1 and 2. I like those stories. They're really good stories. NetherRealm does a fantastic job. And I know this is Arc System Works' like first game with the story, so I'm not going to fault them on that. But I wish it could be better, and I hope they take what they did well and what they did wrong and fix upon it. Also, for the love of God, PlayStation, if I'm in a cutscene, can you just allow me to record it or live stream it? I hate that the broadcast cuts out. Not all of us can afford capture cards, as you're seeing with my current gameplay. Probably very slow on frame rate. The next big issue I'm going to get into is character balance and what I believe. So, you didn't know, in Fighters, a lot of the characters are about equal footing. I wouldn't say there's one character where you're like, don't play them, they're bad. Everyone has their own thing they're good at. Some people are subpar, some people need, you know, fixes and balances and nerfs and stuff. It's like all fighting games. But my problem is the first patch we had only nerfed Android 16, Vegeta Super Saiyan, and I believe, who else? It nerfed the third person. Android 16, I know, Vegeta Super Saiyan, and someone else. The point is, it doesn't matter who it nerfed. Like, it was a competitive nerf. It was a nerf each one. 16 can't do some of the ridiculous stuff he could do with his chain grabs. Vegeta's assist got nerfed, so it can't do as much and can't hurt as much. But now with that leaves a lot of problems. One, that Cell is arguably the best character in the game, and there's like no dispute. If he's not your number one or number two, like, best character, then and that's the problem, is that we've only had one character balance. It came a few months out from release, because the game released January 26th of 2018. And I feel like we could just have another patch, hopefully, because there's a huge problem. Some characters are just massively OP, like characters like Bardock, Cell, Goku Black, Adult Gohan. They all have, they're just arguably so good, and it's like, as you're playing competitively, we're seeing the same like 6 characters get used. You're gonna see everyone have Cell on their team. We're gonna see this, we're gonna see that, and it's not a diverse and fun meta. When I watched Evo 2017, it was really fun to see the diverse meta in most fighting games. Injustice 2, one of the best players brought, one of the guys who scored, like, did really well, was playing with Flash. He made it in, I think he might have won, don't quote me on this, or he got second place with Flash, who was about a mid-tier character who a lot of people in Injustice 1 said had a problem with playing the long game. A lot of people thought Black Adam, who was still OP in Injustice 2, would win, and he didn't. And it was very interesting. I liked seeing fighting games bring, mid-level or low-tier characters in, and seeing how they did, because they were decent. It's just you had to know how to play with them, and I feel like that's a thing that's with fighters. A lot of characters are decent. You just need to know what their strengths and weaknesses are. But the problem is that characters like Cell are just so good. They do everything. Cell's got the damage, the reach, the range. He has a Kamehameha, the Ki Blast. He's got good moves. The weakest thing I would say Cell has is his level 1 super, but you have 2 other characters who can have a way better level 1. I just feel like we need another patch or two, just nerf and buff some people. Few things I'd wish Teen Gohan's reach was a little bit more. Krillin's damage was buffed. Tien fixed in some areas. I don't know what exactly. I wish Vegito Blue had a down heavy, not a down heavy, an up heavy when you're in air to smack someone down. Currently, if you do up heavy in air with Vegito Blue, he just knocks them to the side. But I feel like Fighterz has definitely shaped up a lot more with the DLC characters and has brought a lot more into the game. Broly is a heavy corner character. I wish he had more super armor. Bardock is just good all around. He's combo crazy. Vegito Blue is fun to play around and mess with. He's not huge on energy or Ki Blast, but a great at that mid-range combat. What else? And then Fusamasu, I have no idea on. He plays a bit weird, a bit differently, but it's fun. It's a new character to mess around with. And with the DLC, it's got me onto content release. So I think we're doing pretty good. The first DLC, I believe, came out end of March, and the second came out end of May, or early June or whatever, it was end of the month. And that's about every 2 months we're getting a new update, new characters to mess around with and stuff. But my problem with that is it's a little too long. I may be a bit spoiled from Injustice 2, who had a monthly update on DLC characters and kept the hype going. But the problem is we don't hear about these characters for a long time. They show them off 2 weeks later. It's like they show them off or announce them. 2 weeks later, we might get, the 30-second gameplay footage. And then we don't get a release date till the week before they come out. And that's really bugs me. I wish Arc System Works especially would be more active on its content release schedule. At least to, what we can expect. I know they're working their hardest and they want to release characters when they feel they're ready. But honestly wish there was more updates on, when a character is revealed, we know what day they're coming out. Or, you say end of month, so we have something to expect. Not just, because most of the time, where I got, when these characters came out from was not Bandai Namco saying it themselves. Was fighting game people being Maximilian Dude tweeting out, oh, these characters come out then and stuff. So I don't know, I just wish there was more an active communication there. And now I'm gonna get into the pros of the game. I've been nagging on it a bit. I've been giving them some fair shots, but I'll say what the game does right. The content I love. I know not everyone likes Z capsules and earning Zenny for them and then buying them, and then you can get the same content and then you get premium coins to buy newer stuff. But I love that in our loot box crazed world that this could have been a loot box but wasn't. You only earn the currency through game. It's fun. They give out crazy amounts of currency. Recently, a few weeks ago, they gave out a free 500,000 Zenny. Just for picking Trunks as one of my favorite characters, I get like a cool 20,000 zenny or 200,000 zenny or something a month. You know, something simple when I log online and play the game once in a while. But yeah, I think the zenny in the capsule and the content's really fun. I like seeing all the colors of characters, you know, and trying to, you know, picking what I like best, seeing what's a reference to what, you know, it's really cool. I like that we have both the English and Japanese voice actors. A lot of anime fighting games just, you know, put subtitles and call it a day. It's really nice to hear some of the iconic dub voices. Especially since, like, I believe Fuse Zamasu, like, either has happened recently or hasn't in the dubbed anime. So that's really fun to, you know, just instantly hear it in Fighters. What else? I believe the character selection has been done well. I believe it's a little too much heavy on the Saiyans. I'd love to see some characters like more androids, some characters from Dragon Ball. Like, I don't know how they would fit, like, you know, characters like Ariel, Tao Pai Pai, Pilaf. Those would be really fun. Garlic Jr. Some of the other, like, Android 13 would be cool. Lord Slug, Pycon. You know, or Nail, because we have Piccolo. I want to see, like, I know all these characters weren't as developed as some of the, you know, the characters we have in the game, and a lot of the moves are references to what they have, but I'd still like to see, you know, more variations on fighters, because in the with 4 of the DLC characters, 3 of them are Saiyans, and it's a little Saiyan heavy. And with the rumor that base Goku and base Vegeta will be the 7th and 8th characters in the DLC pack, it feels a little cheap, but I do like some of the character selection. I wish there was more of alien races. But yeah, the character selection, the customization's real fun. The online, I've never had a real bad match due to the online service. If it's only been a bad match if the person has like a 2-bar connection, and that's, I know their connection, it's not the servers. The servers have been pretty good. They're a madhouse in the beta, and they were a madhouse at launch, but you know, they get pretty situated. I like the overworld instead of it just being a bunch of menus. It's really fun and interesting to go into, you know, look at the King Kai's planet for training, or you know, go to, you know, see Kame House, or go to, you know, Bulma's spaceship that's used in the story for the story, or even the reference to, I'm forgetting the name of the tower that is for arcade. It's really nice. Now I'm gonna get into what could have been done better. Now, there's a lot of things that could be done better. I believe character balance, we need more updates on the content release. I believe we definitely need a variation in fighters. I feel like we should have, you know, some more alien races, some more interesting characters, maybe a couple humans, you know, I don't know, make Hercule work somehow. Give him a jetpack instead of, you know, normally flying. You know, that'd be fun. But ultimately, this video comes out of a love for fighters. I think it is one of the best Dragon Ball fighting games we've had in a long time. It's certainly very competitive. I believe, you know, they need to fix some things. Obviously, they're doing some things majorly right. One of the big, huge issues I forgot to mention. Oh, this is what happens when you spitball, is that there's not a lot of defensive options in the game. Your Sparking Blast doesn't break opponent's combo, which annoys me a little. It should, you know, be your only way to break an opponent's combo, because a lot of people have figured out 100% kill combos from the start. With like some people have figured out 75% combos with only one bar and stuff. So I believe the defense options need to be a little better, because ultimately it's like if you don't perfect block, then you get messed up and it sucks. But I believe Fighterz is a good game. It could do a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse. And ultimately, this comes from a place of wanting the game to be the best it can possibly be. And with that concludes my opinion piece on Dragon Ball Fighterz. If you like the video, please leave a like. Subscribe to my channel if you want. I'm probably going to be putting out a few videos this summer, definitely more than I have in the past. Yeah, and that's it.